Welcome to the So Social Radio Show. I am your host, Richard Martin, here with my amazing co-host,
Cheri Martin, and we are the WCN Interactive Team, business growth, marketing, and social media strategists, helping you to
dream it, plan it, build it, and most importantly, successfully do it.
For growth, prosperity, and success. And each Wednesday at 12 noon on talknetworkradio.com, we share tips and techniques to grow you and your business, plus demystify social media and marketing for you so you can have more fun.
And my favorite, more profits.
It's all about the profits, huh, Richard?
Absolutely.
Gotta have fun, though, when you're gaining those profits, so that makes it all worthwhile. That's what makes business so fun as far as doing what you're passionate about. I love it.
Absolutely so, and we do have fun.
Yes, we do. I'll tell you what, it's all about being an entrepreneur as well, and so that's why I'm very excited about our guests today, and they're here with us in the studio. We'll do an official introduction of both George and Carla in just a few moments, but we have some really great things happening with our SCORE here in the area, and it is all about those entrepreneurs. So, we have to find creative ways to grow our business.
You're green and growing or ripe and rotting. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. There is no standing still in the world of business.
That is so true. But we want to make sure everyone knows if you have any questions today, as always on our So Social Radio Show, come on over to Facebook, to the So Social Radio Show. Give us a like. And in the top pin post, there is some information about our topic today, and if you have any questions, just put them right there in the comment thread, and we'll make sure we address those questions today on the show. But we also do want to give a shout out to our partners before we get started.
Most definitely. We want to start out with Toastmasters, a world leader in communications and leadership development. Find out how you can improve your speaking skills and leadership. Visit toastmastersd84.org.
Also, Constant Contact, an award-winning company empowering small businesses and nonprofits to grow and succeed through email marketing. We so enjoy being a partner with Constant Contact. It's just perfect for the small business as far as the one toolkit, one login. You can actually get a 60-day free trial if you go to bit.ly. That's bit.ly/WCN free CTCT, and actually get started growing your marketing list.
And everythingbrevard.com, a Brevard County, Florida community website, keeps you up to date with everything that's happening in Brevard, and get your business listed on everythingbrevard.com also.
And also on everythingbrevard.com, you can actually see all the information about WCN there and all the different workshops that we have coming up. So do you want to give a shout out real quick about the workshop that you have tomorrow morning? Last chance to register.
Last chance to register today for the Brand You workshop. And it's all about how do you stand out in this crowded marketplace and soar above your competition. And this is what we're going to be discussing at Buena Vida Estates out on West Melbourne across from Cheddar's, starting at 8:30 in the morning and going to 12:30.
You can register on the WCNinteractive.com webpage right there on workshops, and we'll see you in the morning.
Absolutely.
Bright and early.
It's gonna be fun, fast paced.
I think it's the last time we're going to do one here in the West Melbourne area.
Yeah, we won't be back here probably till the fall doing this one.
Next month, for those of you that are listening from the Indian River County area, we'll be at the Indian River Chamber on May 18th, I believe it is, presenting the same workshop. So exciting to see you taking this across Florida and sharing that information. So we also want to make sure that if you would like to be a guest spotlight here on our So Social Radio Show, just go to sosocialradioshow.com and click on the information there and give me a holler, Cheri, at 321-446-2156, and we'll get you here on the So Social Radio Show as well. So I'm excited about having George Crestus and Carla Micah here today with us. They are both SCORE mentors. We met them gosh, has it been almost a year, I think?
Yes, I think so.
The last Biz-Fest
Last
is when I met
Biz-Fest,
you.
yes.
Yes. And we have another one coming up. We're going to give you more information about that today. But we're excited to have them here with us because there's so many small businesses in our community that really can use your services there at SCORE. So I'm excited to share with our listening audience exactly what SCORE is all about and how you participate and contribute to our community here. So let me just kind of give a little bit of information about both of them. As I said, it's George Crestus. He's the chapter chair of our Space Coast SCORE District 400. And Carla Micah is the chapter secretary. And you're both mentors here with SCORE as well. And I know George has worked in manufacturing for the past 40 plus years, still doing some consulting out there, just came back from Boston. And Carla is a multi-talented executive with extensive experience leading human resources and IT organizations. So lots of great experience that I know you're bringing to the table, but we'd love to hear a little bit more from both of you about what it is why you got involved in SCORE, and we'll talk a little bit more about what SCORE is. So, George, we'll have you go first.
Sure. I got involved with SCORE because I'd touched base with them many years ago and knew some of the people that did some mentoring and directed people towards successful careers in a private business. So as I retired from industry, last year, I was looking for, not to just sit around and watch television, have something to do, and so I got involved with the local SCORE chapter. And it has been very rewarding. I've mentored several clients, and several small businesses have came out of it. I've had about 4 in the last 6 months, successful business startups that are now off and running. So it's very rewarding to be involved and talk to people about the future of work. It's one of the things I've been looking at is the next wave of people getting working careers are around entrepreneurship, because the changing face of employment is just changing rapidly, as everybody sees every day and you hear about it every day.
That's
and
true.
So what's the biggest opportunity out there for a lot of people is to venture out and establish some private business.
Exactly what we did.
Well, I think what's also important is the fact that we can give back all of the experiences that we've had in our careers, and to help people because we've been there, done that already.
And we've learned through our own trial and error that having a mentor is really valuable. Knowing that there's somebody there that we can look up to. And not everyone has that advantage or that benefit of having one. So I know that's one of the great things that SCORE brings to the table is that mentorship.
Well, exactly. I mean, SCORE is America's premier source of free and confidential small business advice and education. Entrepreneurs and small business owners rely on SCORE volunteers to help guide them on their path to success in business. I mean, SCORE mentors come from all walks of life. Mm-hmm. There are small business owners, there are corporate executives, all donating their time to help small businesses succeed.
And that's just, to me, a key and very valuable piece of information. I know when we first started our business back in 1998, and we joined, of course, the first thing you do is join a chamber of commerce. So, and then we're given all this information, and they, at that time, they said, if you want to, there's a lot of resources in our community that you can actually tap into, and having that SCORE volunteer at the chamber was phenomenal, to be able to tap into that source, because they came from at that time, I think, they were almost all retired, and they were just giving back because they wanted to, share some of their knowledge, as well as make sure you were aware of some of the experiences, not to do things in a certain way, because they had already been there and done that, right? Made those mistakes. So that was kind of fun to be able to take advantage of that.
It's really important to note that all of the chambers in Brevard County are our resource partners, and we have SCORE volunteers at all of those chambers on Fridays.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, I thought that there was. I just wasn't sure if that was still a practice that you did. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Is it every Friday or a particular Friday of the month?
It's every Friday. Merit on the Cocoa Beach Chamber, it's on Tuesday. So all day Tuesday, if you come in and during the week schedule an appointment, there is someone there on Tuesday to take those clients. And then Titusville is Friday, and the Melbourne Chamber is Friday.
But if you don't want to walk into a chamber, there's lots of ways that you can access mentors online. Nationally, you can go to www.score.org and request a mentor. Or you could go to our Space Coast website at www.spacecoast.score.org to find a mentor or to be a volunteer.
That's great. And I know there's so much information on the website. And when I love the new look, by the way, of the website.
Good.
It's got, it's universal across SCORE. So when you go to see SCORE now, you see it all, the look and the feel. So I really love the navigation and everything. And so I do see where you can actually schedule your counseling there and find out a little bit more information. And there's a lot of different workshop information up here on the website as well.
There's a tremendous number of webinars that you can find there that are just invaluable. And the best part is there's no fee, there's no charge. And secondly, you don't have to register and sign up, and you're not going to get flooded with a ton of spam emails because you registered for this service.
That's a really nice point that you made there, because these resources are free, but are all of the services that SCORE offers free?
Well, the majority of SCORE's services are free. As a community service, SCORE provides free ongoing one-on-one counseling sessions. But sometimes there are workshops that we hold, and we're going to talk about our great Biz-Fest coming up
soon.
and that's got a nominal charge. But our basic premise is to provide one-on-one counseling free of charge to our business clients.
And as you mentioned, you have the SCORE counselors that are there, and they're scheduled to be at the different chambers. So I would probably recommend, if you want to meet with one there, you would want to call the chambers ahead of time.
Yes, call the chamber ahead of time, and then mention that you would like to request a mentor from SCORE, and then they'll schedule it on the calendar for that day for the respective chamber.
And if the business owner schedule can't accommodate that, our counselors are available to meet on request, scheduling at their own time. Our offices at 1600 Sarno Road are available for those counseling sessions as well.
Yeah, it's a nice location that you have there.
Nice offices, nice redo on them too, by the way.
Right, thank you.
Well, when an individual wants to work with a counselor and they call, say, the chamber to schedule, what if they have a certain need? Are the SCORE counselors, can they ask for someone with a certain experience, or do they have to take what they get?
No, absolutely. There are several. We have right now active about 20 mentors, varying in industry specialties around construction, accounting, IT, organization. We have HR specialists.
Finance, strategic planning, marketing, social media.
Yeah, Richard is an actual SCORE mentor. I haven't finished my training yet, but so he's a mentor as well.
But more importantly, understand that this is a national organization of over 11,000 volunteers.
Wow.
So being a national organization, we have the wherewithal to reach out across the country for any specific need that the client might have.
I did not know that. So if there was someone that a specific need they had that they really requested, and as their mentor, maybe you're mentoring George, and you see that and we don't have anyone here, you could actually tap into that resource.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And many
fabulous.
of those resources are available via email. It doesn't have to be face-to-face. It can be telephonic or via email. But we have this network of volunteers, as I said, over 11,000 volunteers nationally that are at the disposal of small business entrepreneurs.
Right. They're in the process of testing now actual video mentoring.
Oh, okay.
So you do it'd be like a Skype thing or a GoToMeeting type presentation with a mentor, and do it that way. And so that way you've got a broader access across the country to some very specific
Well,
need.
that's how coaching is being done these days. There's Zoom. There's so many different
Well, you even have Facebook Live. That's free.
Facebook Live.
Right.
We do that within groups. Yeah, exactly. So technology definitely is involved now with being able to have that outreach.
Right.
Just a few little tidbits, just to get the breadth of what the organization is. Last year, in 2016, there were over 303,000 mentoring sessions conducted nationally.
Wow.
There was over 119,000 online educational workshop attendees. So this is not a small organization. This is an organization that serves to grow small businesses across the country. And over 54,000 new businesses were started last year.
And when you talk about the small businesses that are starting, I don't know the exact resource. I was just I'm always doing market research online, but I came across that by 2020 that over half of the small businesses are going to be your entrepreneurs. Whether they're an individual consultant, but our entrepreneurs are actually realizing that it'd be more to their advantage if they just take and start their own business.
Well, you've got the corporate side of the equation there, and it's gotten so expensive to provide benefits for people.
Correct.
Amongst other things, that they're outsourcing. My son out in Austin, Texas, worked for a financial institution that was basically outsourced for I don't know how many years he worked for.
Out of England.
6, 7.
Right.
Yeah, they were out of London. Yes.
Well, with you read every day of something about automation. Automation has taken over a lot of industry, and it's not just the robotics on the shop floor, but it's now is the business analyst, financial analyst. A lot of that activity has been replaced with some automation, and they've reduced the levels of work there. But you've always got. I read something just this morning that for every automation job that gets replaced, there is one other type of job that gets created, and maybe even two. So looking forward as to what happens with these displaced workers, again, entrepreneurship is where that's going to be. I like to think that basic economics still revolves around three things. You have to eat, you have to shelter yourself, and you have to be clothed. And so those three basic needs, human needs, are still going to drive economies. So just because you've replaced a factory worker to run a machine, if you look at all of those machines and all of those moving parts, something's going to break.
They're going to break at some point in time. You're absolutely right, and they got to be fixed. So it's a shift, not as much as it is downsizing.
Correct.
Because we both used to be corporate employees,
as did we.
And we found life a whole lot better on this side of the world, being coaches and consultants, than we did having to report to a boss.
And it was a scary feeling for me. I mean, I was raised in a family where my folks owned their own business and such, but I had never thought ever of owning my own business. So I know when I started working with Richard, this was even before we were married, I could not give up that full-time job. I had a full-time job plus working for him, plus I did some commission work. As a single parent, I wanted to make sure everything was always, had those benefits and all those fun things. And it was really a transition for me to finally trust myself. And what it finally took was we actually took ourselves and invested in some knowledge out in San Diego. This is how after we'd actually sold our IT company and had closed down our web agency, because we were very involved in the builder industry back in those days, and kind of reinventing ourselves and what we wanted to do. So we invested and went out to San Diego. And at that time, it just hit me, either create a business or pretend that you're creating a business. In other words, is it a hobby or are you going to actually go for it? So I took the plunge. I jumped off that cliff, and I was just like, keep getting scraped, but
and that's what the SCORE mentors are here to do, to be there for those particular decision points and to act in a non-judgmental fashion as a support system. And that's one of the things that's I think differentiates SCORE from a lot of other mentoring institutions, is that we have a predefined methodology called SLATE. And I think, George, you can probably describe SLATE a little bit more, that all of our mentors are trained in, so that there is a uniform approach to the mentoring session.
Yes, SLATE stands for, it's an acronym, stop and suspend judgment, listen, analyze, teach with tools, and then set expectations and encouragement. Mm-hmm. So that's the basic premise that our mentors come in on. Mm-hmm. Is you know people come in and they've heard all the naysayers and everybody's been downtrodden them. Oh, you're crazy to try this and so forth and so on. Well, when they come in and they talk with one of our mentors, first thing I don't say anything when I have a client come in. I just listen. So what's your idea? And then if they usually have a hard time getting started saying something, but then you facilitate the discussion, you ask a couple of questions, and then give them a chance. And then once they get going, then all of a sudden that enthusiasm comes back in as to why they wanted to venture off and do this. And then they just go on and on and on. And so then you listen very intently. I listen very intently and listen to what it is that they're trying to do, and then listen to what they're not saying. Listen for all the things where they haven't thought about, and most people don't think about all the costs involved. So the first thing I normally do is okay, listen to what they're good, and I says, okay, now what is this going to cost you to get it forward? But I won't elaborate on that. But then that's where the analysis comes in. And then just start analyzing their approach to what they're trying to do, and then just brainstorm with them. And then teach. I provide some. If you look at our website, there's a tremendous amount, not just webinars, but there are also a lot of templates and spreadsheets that you can download. And again, there's no hooks in the downloads. It's spreadsheets or Word documents, pre-formatted business plans, cash projections, forecasting. What else is there? Just a whole lot of tools out there that you can just download and start with. And so we teach with those tools, and then set the expectation that there really aren't shortcuts to doing business, as you all know. When you go into business, there's a set number of things that you have to do, and you have to do those things religiously, and there's the parts that aren't fun.
That is
there's
so
the
true.
aspects that aren't fun. But that's what our mentors do. We interject, we do that, put that out there, and then get caught up in their enthusiasm. I'm getting a little enthusiastic now just thinking about the clients that I've done. Because
I can tell you're passionate about it, and I see you run our meetings. Yeah.
The enthusiasm is contagious.
And that's what provides a rewarding experience not only for our clients, but also for our volunteers. Also knowing that all of this conversation is held in deep confidence. And that if you have an idea, and it's a new idea, a volunteer mentor is not going to run off with it. It's going to be safe with your SCORE mentor.
And that's very comforting to know that for those business individuals that come to you, knowing that they're maybe sharing some very tough stuff, that they're going through, because nobody wants to admit that they aren't doing it all correctly. Right. I mean, it's hard, but being in business for as long as we have, tell me, we're on a roller coaster a lot of times, and we have had some tremendous successes, and we've also had some really crappy failures, but we've picked ourselves back up.
That's a good point about the failures. Is one of the things that I've been looking at a lot of classes and that they're online. There's a lot of training available online, not just from SCORE, but from a lot of different sources. Right. But one of the aspects that is out there today that they're pushing is don't be afraid to fail. And it's you're going to have a number of failures.
Exactly.
And those are the ones that you learn from.
Yeah, let's just go back in our own locale here. Let's go back and look at the space program back when it got started in the really the early 60s. How many failures were there before everything came around the way it is?
Right, and they knew they were going to blow some up.
Oh yeah,
just don't give up.
But now it happens, but it's more of a rarity than it was way back when, because the educational process was in place where every time something happened, it was analyzed, like you were talking about, find out what's happening, why it's happening, and then go solve the problem.
Correct.
So do you also have some small business and entrepreneur individuals and businesses, people that actually are already in business that come to mentor with SCORE?
Oh, yes. I was
Not
trying to
just the
figure
news.
out how to segue into that
Because,
to
yeah,
make
it was
that
like,
point.
yeah.
To make that point is that yes, we are not just about assisting startups or people with
Okay.
new ideas that aren't in business, but existing businesses. We've had several clients, as a matter of fact, that we work with. We have one right now we're working with some financing. Carla and I did some mentoring with a local contract manufacturer. They were struggling around ISO certification and HR issues. They were a small company, 5 years.
It's how to go to the next step.
I
So
like
if
that.
you're a business and you need to take it to the next step, you want to grow, but you're not exactly sure how to get there. That's where SCORE mentors can come into play and help them, because it's about charting a path forward. It's not just about, well, I'm going to double my sales. How do I get from point A to point B?
Yeah, and that happens. I mean, in all businesses, you reach a point that you know that you need that resource. You need somebody else to step in that's going to look at maybe from a different view and see things differently, because we tend to see things right in front of us and not.
Richard, what was your comment earlier? If you're not growing,
You're either green or growing, or you're ripe and rotting.
Right.
And, that sounds like just a blanket statement, but it's actually a cycle. It's actually a cycle of growth, because once you master something, somebody else is going to master it, and now you're looking for a new competitive edge. So now you have to look for that growth spurt, and everything just keeps evolving from there. But that's what makes, to me, that's what makes entrepreneurship and small business fun, because we can all turn on a dime. Try to get IBM, Exxon, Mobil, GM to turn on a dime.
that
Not
doesn't
going to happen.
happen.
Not going to happen in the next decade. They can't. There's too many moving parts that you can't corral.
But what they do though is some of the big boys, when they want to have something strategic happen or something innovative happen, they will either one go out and buy a small business, or they will take a few senior executives, put them out there, and force them into a small business, make them develop a business.
Yes, they do, and that's the whole purpose of mergers and acquisitions.
Yes.
Bring the new ideas, bring that energy, that excitement, that passion back into it, where there's a new area to develop and work on and grow.
Well, I want to remind our listeners that if you have any questions at all for our in-studio guests today, George and Carla, and again, we're talking about SCORE and the great resource that it is here for our community. But if you have any questions at all, please do go to So Social Radio Show on Facebook and just put it in the comments of that top pin post, and we'll do our best to get to that question for you today. But I know that have had some people want to know about what the big event is happening. And I know that, so let's talk about our upcoming BizFest and share with our audience exactly how they can get involved there.
Absolutely. Well, one of the exciting things that's coming up is the first week in May is National Small Business Week. And there are currently about 27 million small businesses in the United States. 15,000 of them are located here in Brevard County. So small businesses make up about 99% of all of Florida's employees. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
It's an amazing fact.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, small businesses are celebrated during National Small Business Week. And in honor of that, SCORE, our Space Coast chapter SCORE, is going to host our third annual Biz-Fest event. And it's going to be celebrating small businesses. The event's going to be held at the Space Coast Convention Center on Tuesday, May 2nd, from 10:30 a.m. to 5:15 p.m. And the Space Coast Convention Center, that's the Holiday Inn. It's located just off of I-95 and 520. That exit right there.
Real easy to get to.
Oh, we are so excited about this event because our keynote speaker is going to be Carol Craig, CEO of Craig Technologies.
I've had the pleasure of listening and hearing Carol a number of times over the years, and what really excites me, knowing that this is the Expo for Entrepreneurs, is her story about how she started as an entrepreneur and where it has led her and her company here. I mean, we are so blessed on the Space Coast to have her.
And we are so
Which
fortunate
is
that she
Craig
agreed to
Technologies.
be our keynote speaker.
Yes.
I mean, just listening to her speak about her own journey
Yep.
and the challenges that she faced, I think is going to shed a tremendous light and be a beacon for small business owners.
I like how she describes herself as an accidental entrepreneur.
Yes.
An unconventional CEO. And those of you here in our area that know Carol and have had the pleasure of, again, hearing her speak and share her story, it is so true. She's so genuine and just so real.
Yes,
And she gives back so much to the community.
She does.
Her schedule is jam-packed.
I know. She's a parent. She's a wife. She's a CEO. She manages. Her company now is huge. I mean,
But not only that, okay, the way the event's going to go is that we'll have our keynote speaker, and then we'll have opportunities for breakout sessions of workshops. Again, I said SCORE is providing workshops, and we have lots of exciting workshops. You and Richard are going to be presenting.
I'm excited about that. Yes.
Yes.
I love having the honor just to share.
And then we're going to have a business staging session by Paul Forsberg, a strategic planning for business growth session by Mickey Johnson, a successful sales workshop by Paul Sweeney. And for our nonprofits out there, now we don't forget about our nonprofits, because SCORE mentors are available to help nonprofits with their organizational challenges as well. Laura Wallace is going to present a fabulous seminar on taking your nonprofit to the next level. And then our last session is going to be Steve Black, and his session is going to be how to have triple your results without working 3 times as hard, leveraging advanced sales and social media strategies. Now, that's a mouthful, I'm sure.
He's
but
phenomenal, though. We've had the pleasure of hearing Steve as well at a few different conferences that we've been to, and his experience. He's bringing a lot to the table. I mean, all your speakers have such experience, not only with their own business,
Right.
but they're mentors with SCORE. They're also business leaders. Right. So it's fun.
And one of the things is for openers, we're going to start off with a forum type presentation. It'll be we'll be presenting what SCORE is about and introducing that, but we're also going to have someone representing the Small Business Development Council. We Venture. Erica Limp is going to be there. We've got someone from the KSC SBA going to be there, and it's just presenting what resources are available. The thing that I have discovered over the last year being involved with SCORE is the number of resources that are available out there to small businesses that people don't know about. When I talk, we have lots of friends that are entrepreneurs, and we mentioned to them about We Venture. Well, they saw We Venture in the paper, but did you talk about what the SBA office had to offer? No, they didn't know. Did you know about what SBDC? No, they didn't know what SBDC does. Career Source Brevard. What are the resources that they have available? And they have tremendous resources available for education and training. Available to them with grant money that they've gotten to present these things to major industries. Goodwill. I never thought of the Goodwill as a business partner opportunity, but they have tremendous resources. They do computer training. They have a full computer lab that they do offer up computer training for free.
And that's that new location
Yes.
here in the Melbourne, Florida area, right?
Yes. So we're going to start off with a forum of representatives from the different organizations who are available for small businesses to take advantage of.
And one of the things I think I want to emphasize is the fact that we are building this partnership within Brevard County between these organizations and strengthening the ties that may have always been there, but we're just making them closer by engaging them in our events and co-sponsoring events with them and being a presence, because partnership and collaboration is what it's all about.
That's true.
All of us want to serve the small business community, but we have different specialties, and how we leverage those specialties, because honestly, I have no problem sending someone to Small Business Development Council's workshops, because that's what they're doing. Or if I know of a particular innovation or incubation, there are other partners that we can tap into for that as well.
Well, I think that resource forum is going to really be an eye-opener for the attendees when they see just how many resources they have here available to them. Because, as you said, we've got not only all the chambers of commerce, but you mentioned, SCORE, the SBDC, the SBA, We Venture, and I've had the pleasure of being a mentor on the We Venture team in the past, and we're what they call the SMEs, the subject matter experts, when they have had questions with certain mentees that had some things that they were challenged with, and Goodwill is a new one for me. I'm really anxious to meet them, and the Career Source we've had. I know when the Space Center did their downsizing, the Career Source was so valuable for those individuals that had been laid off.
They got a grant. To do that training.
That was phenomenal.
And it's made a difference. And now that we see what's happening in North Brevard with space technology companies coming back, all of that training is paying off.
Yep.
Because what Brevard County's always been good at is having a ready pool of people ready to take on those jobs. And Career Source Brevard has been there to provide that training and facilitate those job openings. And it's good to see other companies like Goodwill also get into the game, because they're providing specific job training skills to more hard-to-place individuals. But there's a place for everyone in Brevard County. And like I said, there's 15,000 small businesses here, and over 99% of the jobs in Florida are small businesses.
That number blows my mind. I mean, I did not know that. That's powerful.
It is, but it's good at the same time, because it's the renewing of the entrepreneurial, the I can do it business of where we're going. But for so long, I remember when I was a kid growing up in Miami, Florida, that's what it was then. It was everything that was there was new and being built, and when the Cuban situation happened, those people came over and just what brought them into the community is they had the same dream as everybody else had, and small businesses just took off growing. I mean, I remember when Coconut Grove down there was tiny, on that, and now it's a mega wealth area.
That's why when I look at doing all the reading and research that I do just for fun, but on the future of work, is what's happened in the past. As I grew up and my last 40 years of employment working for corporate America, you're always at the whim of the corporation. So it's you're constant downsizing, changing of structures, changing technologies come in, and you're fine one day and the next week you're gone. I mean, how many companies have came and gone? Carl and I both worked for McDonnell Douglas in Titusville, and now they're not there anymore. I moved to 5 states in 4 years, and not particularly out of choice, but because I worked for Clark Equipment, a heavy manufacturing company, and they shut a plant down. They should just totally shut the factory down and moved on. So with the future being that people will make their own jobs, and study and pay attention to the economies in their areas, the stability out of that can be much better. Now, it's also much more nerve-wracking. Anybody that's been in business for themselves, as you all know, you mentioned it earlier, you're constantly concerned, how much business am I going to maintain? How am I going to grow this business to the next level? But you're in control.
You are in control, but you also have to realize that you have to stay on top of the ever-evolving change, especially in technology. I mean, we started with a web design company, and then also brought on an IT company, and then we expanded after selling our IT company, we expanded our web agency into a total marketing and advertising agency, and got heavily involved in the builder industry. And that was an experience I learned not to really, I'm a little afraid of niche marketing because of that, because we got 95% of our clientele were there. And we won't even go or say where it happened to our business at that time, but we had to reinvent ourselves. However, because of who we are and that entrepreneurial spirit, I mean, he has it in his family, I have it in mine. We weren't afraid to take other chances and other risks. And not everybody has that is able to do that. And I'm probably not as big of a risk taker as he is. I know I'm not.
Well, I think we're evolving to being lifelong learners.
Yes.
And in order to keep pace with the changes that are happening, not only in our lives, but in technology and just the way we live, we have to be taking educational opportunities as they present themselves every day. And I want to go back because I don't think we told our listeners how they could register for Biz-Fest.
I was going to say, we need to give them a link and also the cost, because I know it's minimal, but there is a small cost.
Well, before April 30th, it's $25.
Wow, for a full day seminar.
After that, it's
Plus meal.
Yes, plus food.
Lunch is included.
We feed you.
So, and they can register at our website, www.spacecoast.score.org. And if they scroll down on the home web page, they'll see a registration tab, and just click that tab, and it can be done as easy through PayPal, and we'll get them registered via that link.
It's very simple to do. And if they want to kind of get an overview of everything that is happening that day, they can go. I created a short little bit.ly link that takes them right to the event page, and it's a bit.ly, bit.ly/2017 SC Biz Fest. So SCBIZ Fest 2017. I'll make sure that is put up on our social radio show page. There's also a link to an event that is created on Facebook so they can get more information and share it out. I know I've been pushing it out there because I'm excited about the full day, because one thing you didn't mention, there is another way they can actually experience SCORE mentoring, because you're going to do some speed
Oh, that's right.
Right?
That's right. In between the sessions, we'll have opportunities for speed coaching. It's 15 minutes of coaching.
Wow.
But you sign up, and there will be counselors on site to do one-on-one counseling sessions. So we're very fortunate to be able to offer that to our business community.
That's great. And I'm just so excited to see all of the other resources participate in this day. And it being the celebration of Small Business Week, it's just really perfect to be doing this BizFest during that week.
Yeah, our theme for the event is Dream Big, Start Small.
I like that.
Okay, so we all have great big dreams, but we can only advance one step at a time. Mm-hmm. One step at a time.
I like the way you put that. That's good. But without those dreams, nothing happens. And that doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur, you're in business, or whatever it is that you're doing. You know, your dreams is what creates your passion. Yeah. And the passion is what creates the opportunities.
Dreams without action are just fantasies.
That's true. I like how you said that, Carla. Very nice. Very nice. So with all the different resources that are available online, I know we have a lot of listeners here that are not local, that listen to our social radio show. How can they get in touch with SCORE to find out what their resources are in their area?
The national webpage, www.score.org, allows you to go in and you can put in your zip code and find a mentor in your area. Oh, cool. You could search for particular specialties, for example. Mm-hmm. And as I said, national organization, over 11,000 volunteers spread across the United States. They're available in any locale. I mean, this Space Coast chapter is a member of the district in Central Florida. So there are Space Coast chapters on the Treasure Coast, in Orlando, in Daytona, then down in Dade, Broward County, all across Florida.
So if there is not an actual SCORE mentor in someone's area and they go to the national website, they'll be able to still tap into someone that they could
absolutely,
like you say, Skype, or if they start using the webinars, email. There's an email as well as there's telephone.
And
that's true.
The webinars are available on the SCORE national website, score.org. You can go there, you can look at all the webinars, they're all available, and all the templates and everything, all those resources are all available at the national level also. So it's the same set of resources whether you go to the score.org or spacecoast.score.org.
And what I like about the different webinars and such that you share, I know that our local SCORE now is putting out an email, once a month?
Right, yes. We have a monthly newsletter we're putting out.
Okay. So that way you can kind of see what's happening if you want to get on one of those webinars live, or if you register. If you can't be live, I know you can get the recording, but you can also go to the website and click on and see some of the previous webinars that maybe you missed.
Yes, absolutely. There's a vast library of archived material there. Not only are there presentations, but there's webcasts, there's podcasts, there's templates, there's guides. There's a plethora of resources available at the national website.
Right. I most of the webinars are, at your leisure. You just, when you want to pull it up and run it, you can run it. Most of, a lot of them are live, but then a lot of them, like you said, they're archived, and you just pull them up and you watch them whenever you're available, whenever you have time.
I know I registered for one for next week, and I'm not going to be here. But it's someone that I follow on social media, and actually she's an influencer and someone that she actually trained with the same person that we trained with Mari Smith, but that is Pam, the marketing nut.
Yep.
And she's doing one next Thursday, and I never miss any of those. There's so many different people out there that you can actually, I was very impressed with knowing that SCORE was bringing those individuals on too. So, but yeah, there's so many different areas of business. I mean, it isn't just about marketing. It's about sales. It's about finance. It's about, the HR, which, when you have a small business and you have employees, I experienced that and needing that HR experience.
And just another plug to one of our partners, because we also like to serve our military community and veterans. And at the Patrick Air Force Base, there's a Boots to Business program that's being run to help veterans who are transitioning out get a foothold in perhaps being a small business entrepreneur.
And that's ran by the SBA, Small Business Administration.
And I know that they do that is that ongoing, or don't they have some seminars?
It's quarterly.
Too? It's quarterly. So I know that you'll be able to get some information on that. I'm sure you'll have some of that available at the Small Biz Fest, and they can also make sure you sign up for the email and get that information. And SCORE is a partner with Constant Contact as well,
Yes.
which is cool, because I know we partnered with them back in 2010 and have had the pleasure of teaching their courses as well.
And if your listeners have any questions about the Biz-Fest or SCORE, they can just pick up the phone and call their chambers, because, as I said, our chambers are our partners for small business, and they're there to help us and help us help them.
Exactly. Well, again, that 2017 SCORE Biz-Fest Expo for Entrepreneurs is going to be Tuesday, May 2nd. Again, at the Space Coast Convention Center there on I-95 and 520, and it's that Holiday Inn Express and then they have the convention center behind it. But it's 10:30 to 5:15, so it's a full day. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a full day of fun, and the fact that you guys are going to feed us too, I love it.
What a value! I mean, it's a value.
$25. I know, and if you have an office and have 5 or more, it's $20 a person, right?
Correct. Yes.
That. Again, you can find all that information on that registration link in the event. So, well, wow, that's a lot of information today we shared with our listeners on SCORE, and we're just excited to be a part of it. We've done a few workshops with SCORE over the last few years here locally and also down in the Fort Pierce area. And so we have had the honor of learning more about SCORE, and then Richard jumped on board to be a SCORE mentor, and I'll be doing my training here hopefully this next year too. I've just been so friggin' busy, which is a good thing. And I do mentor a few other people in other ways. So,
and we're excited to have you as a workshop presenter at our event.
Well, thank you. We enjoy it.
Last year you did it, and your response rate was fantastic.
Ooh,
People just loved your presentation. So thank you for coming back and doing it again.
Well, our pleasure. I have to tell you, we actually were double booked on May 2nd because we were contacted by SCORE in Fort Pierce. They're doing one that day too.
Oh, really?
So sorry, we're on the books or up here, but we'll get down there and speak again soon. So we are out of time, believe it or not. Again, George, Carla, thank you. We'll get all this information about SCORE again on our social radio show page and on our website, as well as on Facebook, so you can get the links and go get registered, and we'll see you there.
Absolutely. This is going to be one event that you don't want to miss. And it's not that any one of us are great. It's that together, everybody is just fantastic. And what you can learn, what you can take away is just going to be a total difference maker in your business over the next year.
Exactly.
And check out being mentored and coached along the way on that. And time is up. Do you believe it?
So we will see you here next Wednesday on TalkNetworkRadio.com, the So Social Radio Show. Make it a great social week.